The following programming is sponsored by Pete Trabucco. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Beasley Media Group.
And welcome to another edition of Live on Tape with Pete Trabucco on WWDB AM 860 Talk Radio. That is a Beasley Media Group radio station, and I'm here with the talented individual by the name of Tyler Conklin. He's been with me for most of my shows. I do really appreciate it. He's got a good background, knows what he's doing. Like I'm looking at the board that he has on the other side of this glass, and I'm like, you do not want me working that board, okay? Because there'll be stuff all over the place. I mean, who knows what I'll do? I'll delete half of it as I'm going along. Computers and me do not get along, okay? So that gives away my age, okay? So,
it is very much possible to actually do that, to erase half the things on here if you're bad enough. So
believe me, I could do that. I could definitely raise my game to get up to that level that I can erase everything, okay? Now, you know, in the spaceships, I've interviewed a lot of astronauts, okay? And I've been in the sim with those guys. I've been in the space shuttle sim. And they've got buttons there for everything, right? Little buttons that, little switches and toggle switches and all that stuff. And right over the really important stuff, they got a little red toggle that goes across the front of it. So you can't push that button unless you pull the toggle up, and then you can hit the actual button. That's what I need when I'm dealing with any type of equipment. I need something that says, do not touch.
I feel like you are describing the red button from Men in Black in the cars or whatever. Like
that is right.
Pull up the button and like push it.
Believe it or not, that's what they had on the space shuttle. They had little buttons that you just pull the thing up. Also, the Apollo missions had the same thing, where there's certain areas where you're detaching the service module from the command module, which is a really big thing if the people are still in the service module. It's going to be hard for them to get back in again, when you blew the bolts to do that. So, yeah, there's a little red button that you just pop up, and then you can push the button, okay? So I'm glad you're doing this and not me, because I can imagine this would be a disaster if I were to do that.
Yeah, I'm just imagining you running back and forth from your room to my room to press the buttons real fast. But you were asking?
Well, I'm old. By the time I got there, it's kind of like an old Carol Burnett, thing with, what's his name? I forget his name, but the gentleman who walks really slow, with Mrs. Wiggins. I can't think of his name.
I was more imagining an I Love Lucy sort of situation where, you're like the conveyor belt scene, but in running back and forth.
Oh, that's true. No, Tim Conway. That's it. Tim Conway. If you ever watched the Carol Burnett show, he would take these little steps. As you get older, you take little steps because you don't want to fall. You don't want to fall down. So his steps were about maybe 2 inches. It would be like 2 inches, kind of like a robot. It was funny as can be. That would be me running from this room into your room. So I am glad that you're doing it. I'm glad that you're having a good time with it, because I don't. And we do hand signals here too. A lot of times we do hand signals here as well.
Sooner or later, I'm going to have to teach you ASL or something like that so that we can communicate better instead of just,
Listen, I'm still trying to figure out Fortran in the computers. Okay, that goes back to the the 80s. Fortran and COBOL. Okay, they don't use those programs anymore, but that's about my speed, okay, at this point. But we have a great guest, okay? Now, I know we've been having a lot of musical guests on. Last week, we actually had Tony Moore, singer-songwriter, musician, and a founding member of Iron Maiden, as well as the keyboardist for the group Cutting Crew, and of course the song I Just Died in Your Arms, which I loved.
A great guest. Loved his interview.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Love his accent. He's out of London. He's coming into the New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia area soon. But we love to have him. But we got another group of people that are fantastic, and in a place I love. Before we get into what we're talking about, have you ever been to Nashville, Tennessee?
I have not had the pleasure yet. Usually I used to work with XTU a decent amount of times on their street crew, and, they sometimes send some of us over there to help out with crew team members or whatnot, but I didn't have the time or, inclination to do that.
For those of you that are wondering, WXTU is our sister station. We've got 5 stations here, and that's our sister station.
And we all share the same booth.
And Tyler's going to each one of them at one point or another. But they play country music, great, contemporary country music, and it's fantastic. I love it. Any chance I can get, I want to go to Nashville. Our guests today are Josie and Tina Marie Casatina, or Tino, I think it is. And that's from the Josie Music Awards, which basically are done every year in Nashville, Tennessee. So Josie and Tina, how are you today?
Hey, we're great. How are you?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I get your name right. That's Casatino. Is that correct?
That's right.
Correct.
There you go. And a nice Italian family, just like me. My name is Trabucco. You know what I mean? So it's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
And you guys, now, are you guys based out of Nashville, Tennessee for this awards? Where you come from? Where do you live?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And which makes it very easy to get to work every day. But we're actually originally from Illinois.
Okay.
So we finally made the trek here to Nashville because it's just closer to work and everything that we have to do. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. And I hear the Josie Music Awards are the largest, most respected, revered award and prestigious event and association in independent music history. So all you people out there in the industry that are independent music industry, and right now that's growing. You know, that's growing in leaps and bounds. Basically, this is a great award show. It obviously awards those people that need it. And on Sunday, October 27th at I guess around that would be 2004, held the Grand Ole Opry House, which is the big Opry House. If any of you have ever gone there, it's a 4,000-seat theater. It's fantastic. You see all your country music artists there. The 10th Annual Josie Music Awards. So I got to find out, Josie and Tina, how in the world did you get involved in doing all this? Our listeners would love to hear that.
Well, it originally started, I was 14 years old when I started a radio show, The Josie Show, which I still do, where I interview, artists of all genre, like the Josie Music Awards, and also legends. And so from there, I wanted to find different ways that I can support the independent community, the independent music industry. So because just in case, just because you're not signed to a major label doesn't mean you're not putting out great music for people to love and enjoy. So it started when I was 14 years old. And then from there, I was like, hey, let's, independent artists, there's a lot of award shows, for major signed artists, but there's not many award shows for independent artists who are creating music. So we're like, how about we do an annual day where we celebrate independent artists, their music, independent musicians, promoters, booking agents. And so it's kind of their day, their day to celebrate. And what a better place than, Grand Ole Opry House, which has so much history. So many greats have been, in that circle. So it's a wonderful experience. We're just so blessed to be able to continue to do it. 10 years. I can't believe it.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm still amazed that you could get, the Grand Ole Opry House is equivalent to even bigger actually than the Broadway theaters in New York City, and also about the same size as the ones that you have in Las Vegas. That's a major venue, but it's also got history behind it. The history, obviously the Ryman, obviously everyone knows the Ryman. That was the first Grand Ole Opry before it moved over to where you're at, the location right now. And the Ryman's beautiful. It's a beautiful church. It was a church that got converted, and I still love going there. It's a lot of fun. But I tell you, I love going to the Grand Ole Opry Hotel and staying at the Opryland Hotel, which is right there. That's absolutely, it's amazing. Yeah. So now you said that you were a disc jockey at one point, or you had a radio show. Was it a radio show like a disc jockey show, or was it more like interviews and talking to people?
It's more interviews and talking to people. Like, for instance, I've had the pleasure of interviewing people like Ray Price, Lainey Wilson, Gabby Barrett, and just so many different incredible artists out there. And what's really great about the show is that I'm also, I'm able to kind of, meet new people, talk to independent artists, also a mix of artists that on the radio, that you see on TV, and also actors, actresses, people who write books, it's a great array of people to, find out what their story is. Because I love hearing about people's stories, their lives, how they got into the entertainment industry and what they do and what drives them. So that was really kind of the start. And I was still in school during that time. So it was really difficult being able to book guests and then also, do schoolwork. So then that's when my wonderful mom here, Tina Marie, she jumped in and she really helped me. And from there on, we just found out that we just work so great as a team. So we're like, hey, maybe there is more that we can do. And she's been like my ride or die the entire time.
Well, that is good. That is good. Like I said, I think you guys can probably start your own band over here, and we'll call it Josie and Tina Marie, and it might actually do quite well. Now, the guest performances this time around. Again, this is going to be. What were the dates on this again? That it's going to be.
Yeah, so the actual award show at the Grand Ole Opry House is on Sunday, October 27th this year.
Okay.
And then the day before, we've got our anniversary, our 10-year anniversary celebration that'll take place on Saturday, October 26th. And that'll be at the CMA Theater at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum.
And that's right. And on that date, you've got a Lifetime Career Achievement Award that's going to go out to Neil McCoy. You have a special. That's going to be cool. I've listened to his music; it's great. And also, Tiffany is a special guest performer.
Tiffany.
So that's going to be cool.
It is,
Ashton Shepherd,
the Icon Award.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's winning the Icon Award, which is going to be awesome. So we got so many great special guests because also I know someone we have in common that you've also talked to. We have Buddy Jewell coming in.
Yes, Buddy is amazing.
To perform. Yes. And then, of course, Ashton Shepherd, which is very exciting. And then we'll, of course, have more performers coming out, our independent family coming soon. And what's really cool about, Neil McCoy and Tiffany and Buddy Jewell and Ashton Shepherd is that they are all independent artists. Many people don't know that, but they are independent artists, which is really cool. And they've had amazing careers over the years. So they're going to be coming out, and we're going to have a good time.
Everybody's going to celebrate together.
Now, that's fantastic. And I tell you, it must have taken a lot of work to do this. When you first started out with the Josie Music Awards back in 2015, did it start where it is now at the Grand Ole Opry, or did you have to start small in order to get it to the level it's at now?
That's a funny story.
Wow, that's a funny story. We could tell you about that. So from the time that Josie first started the Josie Show in 2009, actually, to where we are now with the Josie Music Awards, there's been 16 brands in between. So we have a total of 16 brands. So it was all kind of one layer after the next layer until, I guess we are where we are here now. So we've got 16 brands in-house, all under the parent company, Josie Music Association, LLC. And when we first started, though, with the award show in 2015, we initially figured we're going to go ahead and we're going to have like a little party. We want to go ahead and celebrate these wonderful people who work so hard. They do everything themselves. They're incredibly talented. Let's have a party. Let's celebrate them. Let's award them and give them recognition for all the great things that they do. So we rented like a banquet hall type room at the Gaylord Opryland Hotel at the time. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? Give it to me for 100 people. Let's hope I can fit 50 people in there. Maybe we'll bring our family down, make everybody feel celebrated, and that sort of thing. And then, we got to 500 people, like in a matter of a week or so, we got to 500 people. And I contacted them back and I said, we're still good, right? And they said, no, we need to put you somewhere else. So they gave us the Springs building, which is a beautiful, beautiful building, like on their golf course, really. So we had the whole building to ourselves. So that way they figured we weren't, bother any hotel guests or anything like that, right? So it'd be convenient. Perfect. We get in there. We're at about 1,000 people later, and I call her up and I say, hey, we're still good, right? We were so new at this. And she's like, no, we're not good. She's like, at 500, the fire marshal's going to have like a nervous breakdown. We can't do it. So,
yeah. So what's really cool is luckily with the business that I was in, I made a lot of great, friends and connections and stuff. So we contacted, he was the booking agent for a long time for Ray Price and Mickey Gilley and stuff. Sonny Foster, we love Sonny. He's amazing. So we contacted him because he puts on, a lot of shows and does a lot of that. So we were like, hey, what can we do? We got 1,000 people coming, and he's like, a matinee and an evening show.
We had
split
a lot of that. Yeah.
You didn't even think about that. Split it, right? And so that's what we did, and it was amazing. So we did the matinee show, the very first show, and then the same day we did the evening show, and it was wonderful. And then from there, I feel like it just every year it grew. Yeah, so we've been at venues like the Nissan Stadium, which was amazing. Oh my goodness.
The Symphony Center.
Symphony Center. And then for a while there, we also went to Pigeon Forge. So we were at Dollywood, which was wonderful. And then now we're kind of back into Nashville at the Grand Ole Opry House, which we're so blessed about because we really were trying, so hard to get to the Grand Ole Opry House. And, finally, I guess, just the timing.
We had to be we had to be established. We had to really prove ourselves, I think. And, our goal in life, our big dream was always to be at the Grand Ole Opry House. And, when we made that come through, I think in our 8th year. So I think our 8th year, it finally happened, and it was just like a blessing. We ran to the car after we knew that we were going to get the venue. We got in the car, and we just thought to ourselves, oh, my gosh, did that really just happen? Is this really happening? Oh, my gosh, is this really happening?
And now that's been our home.
That's absolutely fantastic. And I tell you, it's an amazing story. We'll be back with Josie and Tina Marie right after these messages. Each year, 5,000 people, including children, choke to death. LifeVac can stop these senseless tragedies. And it's so easy to use as well. Simply place the mask over the face and push and pull. You'll never regret having a LifeVac in your home or office. Please visit their website at www.lifevac.net today to protect you and your loved ones. Or you can call them at 877-LIFEVAC. That's 877-LIFEVAC.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone.
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
But treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
And welcome back to Live on Tape with Pete Trabucco on WWDB AM 860 Talk Radio Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. And we're so glad to be here today with, of course, Tyler Conklin, who is my producer. And I just wanted to make it clear that I got to talk about this organization and this group. It's just fantastic. World Star Public Relations. Great company where excellence meets exposure. Now, so are you ready to elevate your brand to new heights? Well, their team of dynamic PR experts is here to make your story shine bright on the global stage. Whether you're a startup, an established artist, business, or a rising star, we specialize in crafting narratives that capitalize and campaigns that resonate. World Star PA, your passport to the world of unparalleled visibility and success. So join the ranks of those who have already made headlines. Choose World Star Public Relations and let your story take center stage. And their phone number is 631-506-6600, 631-506-6600. And we are here today with Josie and Tina Marie Casatino. Yeah, we go. I think I got it right that time. Who are the Josie Music Awards. And if you didn't know about the Josie Music Awards, it was established in 2015. It is, without a doubt, the largest, most respected, revered award, prestigious event that is held for independent music industry folks. And I'll tell you, it's at the Grand Ole Opry, which I think is going to be on October 27th, which is the major theater in Nashville, Tennessee. And we're talking about how they got started, how they started to do this. And, you were mentioning that you started small. By the way, that hotel you mentioned, I've actually been there. I've actually stayed at that hotel, the original one that you talked about. Yeah, but, what did you think of the Pigeon Forge location? That must have been cool. Dollywood. How was that?
That was really cool. We loved it because there was like a package where, people can, when they get our tickets, they were able to also enjoy Dollywood for an extra day, which was cool. So they were able to come to our event, see all the great performances and see the show, our awards ceremony. And then the next day they were with their family, and we really are a family event. So it was pretty cool that everyone was able to really explore Dollywood as well. So it was a lot of fun. It's such a beautiful venue, and it's amazing. And we know that they're doing some really great reconstruction now. They're adding something, I believe, into Dollywood, which is great. So we'll be there as fans. So.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Hey, did you know this? You probably already did, but just in case you didn't, the Grand Ole Opry House, okay, when it was first built, there was an amusement park that was right outside of it. You literally could walk out the Grand Ole Opry House, and there was a full amusement park there. Okay, I don't know if you guys knew that, but when I first went there, it was probably around 86, 87, somewhere around there. We actually went there, and the park was amazing. And of course, they had the all the big stars, all the big country music stars coming out and signing autographs and stuff. Do you remember any of that, or was that before you guys were there?
No, I don't remember that at all.
No, not for me. I was born in 95.
Okay. Well,
so that's awesome. I was born in the wrong time. I really wish I could have enjoyed that. That sounds like so much fun.
Well, you know where the parking lot is? The parking lot for the music hall, okay, where you're going, and that's the Grand Ole Opry. That parking lot, if you look at it, that whole section held about 3 roller coasters and a whole bunch of rides. And I remember my first roller coaster where I went upside down. Was a roller coaster that was there at that location. And they had 3. They had a wood coaster. It was nice. And the funny part was that back then, the Grand Ole Opry just opened up. That venue opened up. So the pricing was really good. So you could actually go on the amusement park, hang out for a couple hours, and then that night you'd go mosey on over to and watch a fantastic, concert. And I'm talking about, it was just amazing. Porter Wagner was still alive at the time, so you would see Porter Wagner, and he'd be like an intro or an MC for a lot of the events that were there. It was absolutely amazing. But look it up if you get a chance. Look it up. It actually did exist, and it was a fantastic amusement park. Okay, so now October 27th is going to be the big event. And you're going to represent all these people. Now, how does one? I see that you have an application as far as in order to get involved in all that. Tell me about independent music. How does that work in comparison to, signing on to a label? Tell me how that all works.
So sure. So as far as we go, as far as submissions and all of that, I'll get into that. But the independent music is really
more freedom. You can really do your own thing.
Create your own music. You're responsible for your own career. You can decide what goes out, when it goes out, how it goes out, and so there isn't anybody telling you, how something has to be, or people to have it approved by, or maybe putting something out that isn't necessarily what you would have put out, but it's what sells. So it's just a whole different thing. So as far as what we do, so we celebrate independent music. So that would be anybody can go ahead and submit their songs, as long as they're songs that either were written by somebody that they've recorded. So anything that has not been recorded by a major signed artist would be an independent song. So that's what we focus on. We focus on the person, the businesses around it, the songs, videos, albums, that sort of thing. So if you want to submit, you would just go to josiemusicawards.com. There's a tab at the top that says Submit for Nomination Review. And then you go down there. There's a list of the different forms you can fill out. They're real quick. Only take a minute. Different categories. Mm-hmm. And then you go ahead and you complete the ones that apply to you or the ones that you're interested in trying for. And that's it. You complete it and you're done. You don't have to ask anybody for votes or do anything. You just complete your forms. And we have a panel of all pros, and they go ahead and they do all of the reviews. So anyone that submits gets a review. And then at the end of that, they ultimately decide on who will make nomination this year. And then we announce the nominees to the public and to the press on May 7th this year.
Oh, fantastic. So basically, now do they have to also submit their music or videos or anything like that? Or is that part of it?
Sure. Yeah, if they submit for Video of the Year, they're going to have to, attach a link to their video so the panel can find it and review it. And then we also have to make sure that if they have a song that they're submitting, they go ahead and attach either a link or the MP3. That way, when it comes through and the panel grabs it, they have the song and they know that they're reviewing the right thing. So anything that you are sending in to be reviewed, you'll have to attach it or a link to it. Yeah, and that'll all be in the form.
And that basically, I'm the old school person. I would give you a cassette tape. You know what I mean? I know they don't do that. I know they don't do that anymore. But do you ever get non-videos and you just get the tape itself where it was just music?
As far as the music goes, when people have an album or a single or an EP, they have the option of sending us to the link to where it is online, or they can go ahead and send in the hard copy. So, someone can go ahead and mail in their album or single or whatever if they wish instead, yes.
Yeah. So they can't just go to your house and knock on your door like you're a record company and give you the tape and say, well, here's my tape, No, they don't do that.
I'm just saying that it's not going to happen, but no.
That's funny. That's funny. No, it's not just for country music, right? It's for all types of music. So I want to make sure that is, because I know that we're doing it at the Grand Ole Opry, I guess, hotel. In this case, the actual Opry House. So I want to make sure everyone knows. Look, we got a lot of Philadelphia artists that are here. We've had up and coming artists on our show. In fact, I think Backer Taylor is one that was been on our show. She is rising. I think she's got like 4 million hits or something with her new music and everything. Awesome. So I'll be in touch with Backer to actually have them contact you. I would love to see her win something. So in this area, we've got a lot of Philadelphians that are very, very talented. And we would love for those independent artists to actually have someone or basically have them submit stuff to your crew and to your people. So now,
that'd be great.
Now, 10 years, I am sure you have met some really big people, really big stars in the industry. So this is the name drop section. Okay, we got about 4 minutes. So give me the name drop section of all the people that you have met. Not all of them, but just the ones that really stand out.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. So Randy Travis was really cool. I loved meeting him. Mickey Gilley, Lee Greenwood. We got to enjoy the Lee Greenwood salute. We were there as media, so we got to enjoy all of the great and meet all of the great people who were there, which was really cool. So Crystal Gale was there, so I got my chance to interview her and meet with her. Oh my goodness, there's so many. Ray Price, Gabby Barrett, Lainey Wilson, just so many incredible artists. Eric Church,
Aaron Tippin.
Yes, Aaron Tippin. I love Aaron Tippin. I love him.
Yes,
fantastic.
Just the sweetest. Yeah, so I mean those ones pretty much stand out. I think just because you're a personal fan of these artists and you actually get the chance to talk to them or meet them in person, many of them in person. You're kind of like, wow, like it's a pinch me moment, it's surreal.
And we've had T. Graham Brown with us. We've had William Lee Golden and the Goldens with us.
Oh yeah, from the Oak Ridge Boys.
We've had some great
so many great people, attend the Josie Music Awards. And then of course this year I can't wait to meet, Neil McCoy and Tiffany and Buddy Jewell and Ashton Shepherd. I mean those are going to be first for me. I've never met them yet. So
we had Deborah Allen last year.
Deborah Allen last year.
Can't forget her. She was lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. So many cool people. I love it.
Yeah. So tell me, do you ever get like celebrity shock here where you're like, oh my goodness, I'm actually talking with this person? Does that
I think the first time, Not anymore, but I think the first time I was maybe 15 or 16, right? So I was young. Yeah. Ray Price,
Mr. Ray Price.
Mr. Ray Price was probably the one that I was like, wow, because I mean, he's talking about his huge career, spanning so many years and all the great things that he's done, all the hits.
And you were a little girl.
I was so young, but I grew up on that music, because it's what you and Dad played. So I was like, wow, I'm actually talking to. So that's the one.
And he made her make a promise. He made her promise that since she was such a young girl and he was so thrilled that she loved traditional country music, he made her promise that she would never let it die, that she would always include it in everything she does. And we do. Traditional country music is a part of everything we do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like you guys really got your act together and you're meeting all these fantastic celebrities, and that's fantastic. Now we're going to talk about musicians. We're going to talk about your musical abilities, but we'll do that right after this. Yeah. So Live on Tape will be right back. Each year, 5,000 people, including children, choke to death. LifeVac can stop these senseless tragedies. It's so easy to use also. Simply place the mask over face, push, and pull. You'll never regret having a LifeVac in your home or office. Please visit lifevac.net today to protect you and your loved ones. Or you can call them at 877-LIFEVAC. That's 877-LIFEVAC.
Teachers shape the future. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who'll make preventing pandemics their life's work. Sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who'll help combat climate change. And generating possibilities for a student who'll be the first in their family to graduate college. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
And hello again. This is, of course, Pete Trabucco, live on tape at WWDB AM 860 Talk Radio, Philadelphia. Hey, great afternoon for all of you today. I am Pete Trabucco, of course, with my engineer, Tyler Conklin, and we are talking with some amazing people. Before I do that, I want to talk to you about World Star Public Relations. I know I talk about them all the time, and I only do because they are excellent meat exposure, and they are fantastic at what they do. So are you ready to elevate your brand to new heights? Well, their team of dynamic PR experts is here to make your story shine. And I mean shine bright on the global stage. Whether you're a startup, an established artist, business, rising star, they specialize in crafting narratives that captivate and campaigns that really resonate. So World Star PR, your passport to the world of unparalleled visibility, success. Join the ranks of those who have already made headlines. Choose World Star Public Relations and let your story take center stage. And their number is 631-506-6600. That is 631-506-6600. We are with Josie and Tina Marie Casentino. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? Okay, and they are established the Josie Music Awards. It is a very prestigious, one of the most largest and respected, revered awards for the association with independent music industry, for the independent music industry, which, by the way, is growing. And they do the event. It's going to be October 27th, and that'll be at the Grand Ole Opry House in Nashville, Tennessee. An amazing event, an amazing venue, and two amazing women. I tell you, you guys should start your own radio show. I mean, I know that Josie did that, but you should do that too, Tina Marie. That's fantastic. So you guys are really good at what you do here. So we talked about.
I do the producing, so the Josie show, it's ongoing. So I do the producing, I go ahead and manage the guests, and I run the boards. That's what I do, and then we let Josie do. Josie does the talking. Don't worry, I tend to jump in. But no, I mean, as far as like the other brands too, I mean, we have a global radio station that we use with JMA Radio that we use to. Okay. Work with our artists as well. I mean, there have been published books out on the artists. I mean, there's just a ton, of different brands that we do, in between, everything.
Yeah, our brains are always working. I feel like I just like to try different things. You know what I mean? And so we love dipping our toes into just different waters. So it's fun.
You
fun
do,
for us.
Yeah. And I noticed that you got a lot of different companies that are supporting you. I'm looking on your website. I'm seeing a lot of different things going on there. And I'm looking at, there's a picture, by the way, folks, of the actual, the Grand Ole Opry, theater. It is amazing, amazing. And the people that go there are just absolutely, it's one of the nicest venues, I think, that I've been to. And I've been to Madison Square Garden and a whole bunch of great places where I've seen concerts and stuff, but it's absolutely amazing. So you meet all these celebrities, and you're not like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm actually meeting this person. Did you know I actually met Dolly Parton once, but it was by accident?
Did you really?
Yeah, New York City. She was doing a movie with Sylvester Stallone, Rhinestone, I think it was called. And I was in there doing something else for radio. I forget what I was doing. And I was backing out of the studio. And all of a sudden, I bang into somebody, and they fall to the floor. They literally fall down, and they're on the ground. And I'm looking over, and I'm going, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm oh so sorry, right? And I look down, and it's Dolly Parton. I knocked Dolly Parton down, okay?
You're kidding me.
No, I'm serious. And, and I thought she was going to be so mad at me. I didn't do it on purpose. I was backing out, and I didn't know that she was coming in. So I looked down, and I see Dolly Parton on the floor. And in her voice, she goes, "Oh, don't worry about it, sweetie. Happens all the time." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty interesting."
Now, speaking of starstruck, speaking of starstruck, that would be the one for me, I think.
That kind of gave me a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, no, she's amazing. My family loves her.
Yeah.
We have not been lucky enough to actually see her over at Dollywood. When that opens, sometimes she shows up and everything. So you've not had Dolly on your in your event at this point.
Not yet, but I would love to. That would definitely be like, if you were to ask me like, dream, interviews with dream guests on the Josie Music Awards, that would definitely be, it would definitely be Dolly Parton for sure. She's on the top there. Yeah.
Well, then, I'll just call her for you and say, you remember, back during Rhinestone, the guy that knocked you over, that's me.
Yeah.
We would love you to be on the Josie Music Awards. I think maybe she'd do it. I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
She seems very down to earth and sweet. I'm sure she would do it, if we were able to find the right people. But, that would, I think, be like a complete starstruck moment for us.
That might be a problem.
That would be fun.
I might pass out.
That would be fun.
Well, all you got to do is just bang in her and knock her down someplace, and you'll get the.
I can't believe that.
That's crazy, and that's a true story, huh?
Oh, listen, I met so many celebrities in green rooms. I met One Direction in the green room in Canada. I had no clue who they were. So I'm sitting there. I've written a couple books. So basically, I do the book tour stuff. And in Canada, there's something called CTN. That's the cable. That's the Canadian television network. It's like an NBC or an ABC or CBS. Wow. And I'm sitting here in the green room, and there's 5 gentlemen sitting right next to me. Okay, and I don't know who they are because I'm old. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there. This is a couple of years back, and I'm going over and I'm saying, "So what do you guys do?" And they laughed so hard. This is One Direction, and they're doing their Canadian United States tour. Okay. And I asked them what they're doing, and I tell you, they played along with me. They were like, "Oh well, we're musicians, and we're just starting out. It's like." So I said them, "Good luck." I said, "Good luck to you. I hope you have a good career." You could hear a pin drop in that green room after I said that. So
that is so funny. Hey, at least you wished them luck. I mean, that was very nice.
That was very nice.
Well, it's funny. They actually are on the bus, and they had this nice bus, and they saw that I had a book on roller coasters, thrill rides, and amusement parks, and they said, "Hey, listen, would you mind if we got a book? Because we're kind of bored in the bus, and this looks interesting, So I ended up signing it for them. And giving them the book, and they were reading it all during their trip to Canada and to the United States and Los Angeles and everything. So that was pretty cool that they did that. They probably didn't know that I didn't know who they were, but it was funny. Cool. It was funny as can be. Okay, so let's talk about your career now. Okay, so you had to start from the DJ, from the announcing and everything. But do you guys play instruments? Do you guys actually make music? Have you ever done that?
Yeah, so actually in school, I was really into choir and band, so I do know how to play some really cool instruments, but probably not your typical instruments. I play the cello and the big trombones and, all that kind of stuff. But actually, what's a fun fact about me is that I actually started music. I put out a single, Teenage Girl, when I was maybe 15, 16. That was kind of like my start out. And a fun fact, I was actually signed to the same label as Ray Charles' daughter, Sheila Ray Charles, which was a really cool experience. And so I was able to experience that. And then I think with my music, I just was really into radio at that time. So it kind of dropped off a little bit, and I was so focused more on, that side of my life, radio and doing, everything else that kind of fell off. But I am married now to a country singer, Matt Boone. So he releases music all the time. And so now we're actually talking about doing like a duet and stuff. So, I'd love to kind of like dip my toes back into the, the music side of my life as well. But that would be really, really cool. And it's something that I really love and something that I started off with, so it's definitely in me.
Well,
sure.
Don't put off what you can do tomorrow, what you can do today. A lot of times people do that. They're like, well, I'll do it down the road a little bit, and that's fine. If you enjoy doing it, it's a lot of fun to go ahead and do. I took a hiatus from doing radio. I did it in the 80s and 90s, was a disc jockey, had all these celebrities come into the studio in New York City, and that was fun. And I did some television on CNN, MSNBC, and all that type of stuff, and that was fun. And then I took about 5 or 10 years off, and I said, I want to go back to it again. So, I go back to it up to a certain level. But if you're talented and you can play all those instruments and you got the connections, I'll tell you right now, you got the connections to get back into the industry and probably do quite well. And who knows, maybe I'll put you in for, New Artist of the Year for the Josie Music Awards. What do you think?
Can you imagine? There you go. Can you imagine? Oh, my goodness. Yes, but no, it's kind of funny because, kind of piggybacking on what you say, I mean, music always does kind of pull you back, or what you love to do really pulls you back. And it's kind of funny, that I would find someone who is in music, and it's kind of pulling me back in that way. So something that you love to do will always find you,
And do you songwrite? Do you songwrite also? Do you put together music at all?
Yeah. Yeah, so I wrote Teenage Girl, and also, I do have like a whole diary of different, songs that just have not been released yet. So,
okay.
I definitely would love to get into that, or even if I'm not singing or in front of the mic, I'd love to get into songwriting and kind of pass my music on to other artists as well. That would be really cool for me too.
Now, who does the emceeing for the show? Who does the emceeing for the show usually?
We do.
Yeah, so we do. So for the Josie Music Awards, my mom and I, we host it. And so, we do all that, but also we have presenters, which is really cool. So, we'll have presenters come up with us to be able to, to read off the, winners and all of that stuff. So we always have special guests and special people and surprises. We always have surprise artists who come, and so you never know what you're going to get exactly when you come to the Josie Music Awards.
Well,
it's new every time.
It's funny you should mention that. I do a lot of presentations for a lot of awards here in the New York, New Jersey area, and I don't know what I'm getting until I see it, and they say, okay, you're going to be doing this award. And I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
So the only thing the only thing I really want to know is how to pronounce their name. I have to pronounce their name correctly and the award correctly. So, but the bottom line is, if you want me to be a presenter, I can probably get myself down to Nashville for this deal.
If you will come down, you could definitely present a couple awards with us. That would be so much fun, and I'd love to meet you. So if you come down.
Well, you just won me over. I think I'll be there because, I have a big mouth. Tyler will tell you, I've got a pretty big mouth. Right, Tyler? What do you think?
It's like looking into the face of God.
Now, Tyler's been sitting here and listening, and he's listening to this whole thing. What do you think of this? This is an amazing venue. They're doing an amazing job. They're meeting all these amazing artists. And I'm sure you've got people that that are at this station, because I know there's an actual studio down there where they actually do a lot of bands, new bands and stuff, and artists. This is something that you should spread out to XTU when you get there. What do you think?
They probably have some dealings with them, honestly.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, it sounds like a tough job, but a fun job if it's / rewarding is what I mean. So good on you, ladies.
Yeah, it's very, very rewarding. It's a lot of fun. When you love something, it's not a job. It's so much fun. And like you guys, I mean, you guys love what you do, I could tell. So, you guys could kind of have fun and banter back and forth, and you just love the people that you work with. It's cool.
Well, it sounds like you two have a really good relationship there and work together. Yeah. I tell you one thing, I think if I was in a room with you guys, I won't need anything, no drinks or anything, because, the party's already started with you two.
The party started.
Oh, forget about it. I mean, you guys are very enthusiastic, very passionate, and I can see why people want to be around your awards, ceremony and the celebration, because you make it a lot of fun. And the one thing about independent music, I will tell you this. In the old days, you didn't do that. You went into a record company; they owned the masters, they owned everything. Okay, and if you made some money, you were kind of lucky. It wasn't until you got really big and you started selling out, not clubs, but actual theaters and even bigger stadiums and so on down the line. You really didn't make a lot of money doing that. But independently, if you own your masters and you own that record company or whatever, you could do a heck of a lot better, end up on the charts, and now you call the shots. on what's going on. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
And we know so many artists who have been with major labels in the past that are like, I'm being independent, just is the way to go for me, because it's just, they can be their own creatives. They could do whatever they want and put up music that they want. So, we kind of know like the best of both worlds in that regard. But yeah, it really is growing independent music, and we're just glad that we're just another outlet to be able to support independent artists on their careers, and there's just such great music out there that people may not have heard yet. You know what I mean? So we like to be that person that you go to and you're hearing some great new music.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, we'll be back with Live on Tape right after this. Each year, 5,000 people, including children, choke to death. LifeVac can stop these senseless tragedies. And it's so easy to use as well. Simply place the mask over the face and push and pull. You'll never regret having a LifeVac in your home or office. Please visit their website at www.lifevac.net today to protect you and your loved ones. Or you can call them at 877-LIFEVAC. That's 877-LifeVac.
Junior achievement is where dreams take flight. We are helping students connect what they learn in school to future work and career success. We are teaching them how to manage money to achieve financial security as adults. And we are showing them that starting a business also means changing lives and communities. However, we can't do it alone. Find out how you can help.
And we're back for the final section of Live on Tape with Pete Trabucco, WWDB AM 860 Talk Radio, Philadelphia, on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in the city of brotherly love. We are just having a ball here with our guests. For those of you, we're speaking with Josie and Tina Marie Casentino, and what they do is absolutely amazing. They've got an event that you just can't, it's just amazing. It's called the Josie Music Awards. Now, these awards are not just normal awards that you get someplace locally. This is actually taking place at the Grand Ole Opry House, which is a 4,000-seat theater right next to the Grand Ole Opry Hotel, which is an amazing hotel, by the way. And they actually celebrate independent artists, basically, and the independent music industry, something that is growing as we speak. A lot of people, and I've met and have interviewed a lot of artists, those that have been established and those have not, who are getting away from the record deal, the record company, and actually doing independent work and creating their own record companies. So I tell you, Josie and Tina, how are you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
Fantastic. It's just amazing talking to you. You have taken something that most people would say, I'll try it, but it's probably not going to work, and I'm not going to be able to do it. And you took it from what you said, like the first time you did it, like you thought you'd get 50 or 60 or 100 people, and that you ended up with 500 or 600. And as it's growing now, that place holds 4,000 people. Okay, and people love you. They want to be involved with that. They want to be involved in that group. And like I said, you've got some pretty good celebrities that are going to be there on October 27th. Could you give me those celebrities again? I think Buddy Jewell was one of them, and I've known him pretty well. But who are the others that are going to be celebrated on that event?
All right. So we have Neil McCoy, who's going to be receiving the Lifetime Career Achievement Award, which is exciting. That's going to be a special moment. And then another special moment, we have 80s pop icon. I'm sure you guys all know Tiffany. So Tiffany is going to be there to receive the Icon Award. And then we also have performing and presenting Buddy Jewell and also Ashton Shepherd, which is very exciting. And we'll also, as time gets closer, kind of on our journey, we'll be announcing more special guests and performers and presenters. So stay tuned to josiemusicawards.com or on our Facebook at facebook.com/The Josie Music Awards. Make sure you have The Josie Music Awards so you find the right page. But yeah, so we have so many great artists coming this year, and every year you never know who's who's going to come.
That's true. And just speaking of Neil McCoy, he released 10 studio albums, okay, 34 singles. This guy's doing great, man. He's big, you know. So the people you're getting, obviously, they want to be there. They're great at what they do, and they're just basically like to be independent when it comes to stuff along those lines. So tell me, in your opinion, why do people go to do independent music? I know it's because they want freedom. But what happened to the music industries? What do you think happened to the music industries that people are starting to get away from that?
You know, that's fine. I mean, that's something that I wish we knew as well. But I mean, just in my opinion, because, so many artists have come to me, firsthand. And really, honestly, it was just, they wanted more control over their music. And, also financially, they're able to, know what they're making. They know what, is coming in and all of that. So,
honestly, the other part when you think about it, I mean, there's 3 to 5 major labels.
Yeah,
and
not everybody
they can't sign everybody in the world who's talented. I mean, how would these people all get in front of them? I mean, it just would not be an easy thing to do. So you really have, in many cases, the outlet is, creating your own record label, making your own music for yourself, and, you can publish it yourself, you can protect it, you can do all those things. So there's not a huge need for it. I mean, there are many people that we have at the Josie Music Awards that this is what they do for a living. They don't have a second job. Mm-hmm. This is what they do, and they can sell out shows, and they do quite well. And some of them spend 7, 8 weeks, 12 weeks on the road at a time, and, come back, spend a little time at home, and bam, they're back out on the road. And they've got great careers. So if you can do it yourself, why not?
Yeah, and also just nowadays, I think there's more that you can do. I mean, you can distribute music yourself now. And also, we have social media, right? I mean, you're able to advertise yourself better now through, Facebook, Twitter, all of those different, I guess it's called X now, Instagram. They didn't have all of that, that you were able to kind of get in front of people. So I think it's just you're able to do it now. You're able to do it yourself, and people choose to do it themselves,
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, with social media, basically, that's definitely the case. Obviously, at one point, I had an agent, for my acting and for my stuff and everything. And I found out later on that I got more gigs by doing it myself than I actually did getting the things that the agent thought I should be doing. And you're right. I think nowadays with social media as it is, and you've just mentioned a few of the actual platforms, it probably, if you're good, if you're tech savvy, kind of like Tyler over here, if you're kind of tech savvy and do all that stuff, and you'll probably end up doing a heck of a lot better. One last thing, we got about maybe 2 or 3 minutes left. Did you ever see Nashville, the television show Nashville?
I did. Yes,
okay.
We love it. We actually know an artist who's been on it.
Oh, and who was that?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Jimmy Parker.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so he's been on the set. Yeah, he's been on the set, which is really cool. So yeah, we've watched it for sure.
Actually, when I was doing my green room stuff, and going around the country supporting, my books and everything, and talking about travel and vacation stuff, they were promoting the show Nashville in Los Angeles. And Hayden Panettiere was there, okay? So I am sitting across from Hayden, okay? And again, being me, I said some very stupid things because I'm like, "Oh, Nashville. Oh yeah, that's right. Are you a singer?" No, she's not a singer. No. And she looked at me, she goes, "Well, I play one. I play one on television." I'm like, "Okay." But I followed that show afterwards, and we became kind of friends, actually, Hayden and I. And she did a great job. How realistic was that, do you think?
They showed a lot of the business side that was pretty realistic. And, of course, with shows and stuff, they have artistic licensing and stuff like that. But it really did show, a great portion. And it was just a lot of fun. And I thoroughly enjoyed it for, what it was. And it was such a fun show. I actually have to go back and rewatch it because it's been a while, but I loved it.
Yeah.
So much.
There were some realistic things with a whole bunch of drama added.
Yes, with the drama added, of course, because you
got to make it exciting.
Yeah, you need some excitement and stuff. But yeah, they show some realistic scenarios for sure.
That sounds good. Okay, so we got about a minute left. Can you give me all the information about the Josie Music Awards, where to go, when it's going to be, and how you get tickets? Go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
So if you go to our website, josiemusicawards.com, you will find a ticket link there so you can get tickets to both events that we have that weekend, a Saturday and Sunday. As far as the award show, that's October 27th. It's a Sunday. The big party to celebrate the 10-year anniversary is the day before, October 26th, and that's at the CMA Theater at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. I always want to say the same thing. So that's where the tickets are, just on our website. On our website, you can also submit. Submissions are open until the end of April. So April 30th, they close.
Okay.
So on there, you can submit to a performance application to perform. You can also submit to be considered for a nomination this year.
Well, thank you so much. On behalf of everybody in the studio, we give you a nice salute, and hopefully I'll see you in October. And that about wraps it up for Live on Tape this time around, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.